It was just 1 year ago when Columbus's Jeg Coughlin crashed his top-fuel dragster when his parachute failed, going 240 miles an hour. It happened at the National Hot Rod Association Spring Nationals competition. It was a crash that could have killed him, and one that would make anyone seriously think about giving up racing, especially if you had as much at stake as Jeg Coughlin. Jeg has been racing for 20 years and built a successful business around the sport. He owns Jeg's High Performance Center here in Columbus, a store that specializes in custom race equipment and building race cars. After his crash last year, he had second thoughts about racing again, but it was his family that encouraged him to continue.
We discussed it about, 7 or 8 months ago before we started. And, I asked him, I said, do you think you'd like to continue with this project? I said, I'd like to race, and would you like to help me? And they said, yeah, they really would. They, 4 boys, they were just really, I think, excited about it.
Well, the decision was made. Jeg Coughlin back on the racing circuit, and a lot of hard work ahead. First, they bought a new dragster because his $35,000 car was completely demolished in the crash. Now, most racers have professional mechanics working on their cars, but when Jeg races, it's a 100% family project. His wife and kids are the crew, and everyone has a specific job during the race. After 6 months of preparation, the big day arrives, when Jeg Coughlin prepares to run in the 1980 Spring Nationals, 1 year from the day of his dramatic crash and on the same raceway.
Here they come again, catch us if you can, time to get a move on, we were young with all of our might, catch us if you can, catch us if you can, catch us if you can, catch us if you can.
Jeg is ranked among the top 10 top-fuel drag racers in the country. Top-fuel racing is the fastest class there is because there are no limitations. You can build a car as light as you want and have as much horsepower as you can build. Now, they use nitromethane, a highly explosive fuel that will run about 250 miles an hour. This year's Spring Nationals is important to Jeg not only because he'll be fighting with the fear of last year's race, but because the race itself is extremely important to win.
This particular race first of all, it's right in the middle of the season. And to us, it's a turning point. If we can do well at this race, we can step up into the top 10 and no one will put us out again for the rest of the year. When you can look out into the crowd and there's 35,000 people there and probably 30 of them know us, that's neat.
Jeg says in preparing for the race, consistency is really important. And with just minutes to go before this year's race, Jeg's mind turns to thoughts of last year's tragic accident.
We prepared the car just like we always did, pushed it down towards the starting area as we always do, and it fired and everything seemed to be working out real well.
41-year-old Columbus businessman, local driver, near lane, Jeg Coughlin. He's over 245 miles an hour. Shoot, deploys, rips off. He's down to about 150 miles an hour, headed for the end of the course. He's headed for the barrier, begins to bounce, and takes the barrier in a savage, terrible crash. The safety crews are there within seconds of when this $35,000 fuel machine is destroyed. Coughlin extricated from the machine and able to stand up by himself and walk away.
Did you ever think at that moment that, hey, listen, it's over?
No, I never thought I was going to die. No, I really didn't, because I didn't think I was going that fast. In other words, I believe once you get the car down below like 130 mile an hour, it's hard to get hurt inside of there. You're too well protected.
Did you ever have any reservations about whether or not you wanted to come back this year?
I'd say if we discussed this 3 or 4 weeks ago, I would have said I have some reservations about it. But today, I don't have any, none whatsoever. I mean, I realize when we sit here and we say I'm really striving to try and go 250 mile an hour, and then I turn around and say I'm not going to get hurt. That's maybe contradicting myself, but I really don't think so. And if I did think that in that race car running 250 was dangerous, I probably wouldn't do it.
Everything's set to go. 6 months of preparation. Both competitors line up at the start for the green light. The Spring Nationals, a 6-second race at 250 miles an hour. Last year's accident behind him, and only the racetrack ahead of him. Jeg Coughlin wins in his first outing on the same track that almost ended his racing career, proving to himself and the racing world that he's here to stay.